So in this video, we're going to be going over installing Go on the server and the high availability proxy. So the reason we need the HA proxy is a load balancer, but we're only running one machine, so we don't actually need it, except we do because port 80, HTTP port, is admin only, and we don't want our Go code running on admin. HA proxy will bind to port 80 and just forward all the traffic to our Go server at port 9000 or something. And that way it can run as root, and it will actually lock itself up in a change root jail, which basically means that it's not allowed to access the file system anywhere except for that one folder. So even though it's running as root, it's pretty safe, and it just forwards everything over to our code, which is running as non-root, which means that we're not going to have access to the rest of the system either, besides our own stuff. So a lot better safety overall because of that.
All right, so how many people understood that? Raise your hand. Let's say it again. Just so HA proxy, normally you connect to a website, a server, port 80. But if we have our code running on port 80 without HA proxy, then
we have to run our code as admin.
We have to run our code as admin. So that code is now running as admin, meaning if somebody starts trying to hack in, they came into our computer through port 80 because they're using our website. That's running as admin, and now they could maybe start doing some hacking, which gives them access to the rest of the machine.
Yeah.
And
or if we make a mistake in our code, like with being able to write files to the disk or something, and we do that poorly without using like a hash for the file name, they'll have full access to the disk.
And so then by doing HA proxy receives traffic on port 80, but it doesn't have access to the rest of the machine. But then what HA proxy does is it forwards it to port 80 request to something else, or to our code that's running on port 9000 or something, right?
Yes.
And then our code running on port 9000 is running as admin, or no?
It does not need to run as admin anymore.
It doesn't need to run as admin anymore. Okay.
And so it doesn't have access to anything besides our home folder.
Okay.
So this means if they somehow hack our machine and start putting stuff in, they're just destroying the user account. We can just delete that user account and start up a new user account somewhere else, and we don't have to rebuild the entire machine from scratch anymore again. Okay, so Go. So actually, installing Go is optional. Go 1.5 and up, if we look at Go version. So Go 1.5 and up actually has cross-compilation built in. I can say Go OS equals Linux, Go Arch equals AMD 64, Go build, and it will build a 64-bit Linux executable instead of a Mac executable. You can Windows machines, actually you have to say export Go OS equals something, next line export Go Arch equals something, but same idea, it all works. You can build a Linux executable in Go really easily, unless one of the packages uses C code somewhere in it, in which case the C compiler is a massive headache to get built for cross-compiling. You might as well just build it on the Linux machine directly so you don't have to worry about the cross-compiling. So I've got the instructions for installing Go here, but it's not required if you're not. Most of the packages we're using don't use C code at all. I don't think any of the packages we're using use C code. So it's an option that we don't actually have to install Go on our machine. You can find all these options in Go help environment. Up here at the top, it tells you Go Arch and Go OS. You get this nice listing of every option for those two. So Go Arch, you can go AMD 64, which is 64-bit Intel. 386 32-bit Intel. ARM is what most mobile machines are running off of. And PowerPC 64 is what old Macs before Mac OS X was running off of. And then Go OS, you can choose Linux. You can choose Darwin, which is what it's calling Mac for some reason. You can choose Windows, and you can choose NetBSD, which I thought was a form of Linux, but I guess not.
Berkeley Software Development, isn't it? Or no, it's different?
Yeah, something. It thinks it's a different OS, so it should be able to run most Linux things, though, anyway. So in any case, let's SSH back into our machine. I like not having to use a password.
It's pretty cool.
So we need to get Go. So we'll use the wget command. So wget just basically sends a get request to some URL and saves whatever it gets back into a file. So you can you can go look on golang.org for the URL. I've got the 1.5 64-bit Linux URL here, which I'll just use that so I don't have to look it up. So in case it's wget and the URL. Enter. Downloading. Done. There we are. We got a tar.giz here. So tar.giz is an archive file, basically similar to a .zip on Windows. So we need to extract it. So luckily that command is actually built into Linux. So we use tar, X for extract, Z because it's also a giz file, and then F for we're giving it a file, and we give it the file name. Wow, I would have thought with 8 cores it would have been faster than that. Whatever. We got our Go folder now. It's blue for being a folder, or we can pull up in the -L and we can see it's got that D for that first flag there. So you can either keep Go somewhere in your own folder and you'd have to set Go root, or you can put it into the default location and then you don't have to set Go root. So the default location is pretty good anyway, so let's move it over there. Default location is outside of our home folder, so we're going to need to run it as root. So sudo mv for move. We're going to move our Go folder, and we're going to move it to user local go. Password. Okay. So now if we go to user local, we can see our Go folders there. If we use -L, we can see still, though, it is owned by me. We don't want it owned by me. That means I've got full write access. We don't want someone who hacks our servers to be able to get into our Go folder over here. So sudo change owner. Change own. So change owner, you can give it let's change the owner and the group. So we're going to change it to root:root. So that's before the colon comes the user, after the colon comes the group, and we're going to give it the folder Go. So now if we use -L, we can now see it's owned by root. Yay.
Cool.
It's also a good idea to change mod it to 755, which is full access for root, read and execute only for everyone else. Because they need to be able to read it in order to get to the files, they need to be able to execute to run the Go command itself. So I think it's that by default though, so I don't think that's actually a required command. Anyway, back to our home folder. So let's create our Go workspace. Make dir, and then give it a workspace name. I call mine Go code usually. And then bash has this really nice thing where you can put curly braces, and it lets you basically put multiple commands in super rapidly. So I'm going to say Go code. In the curly braces, I'm going to put comma, and I'm going to put /bin, comma, /package, pkg, comma, /src.
Why the leading comma?
So what it is it's going to put it for every option inside in there. So it's going to call make dir go code empty string, and then it's going to make dir go code /bin, then make dir go code /package, and then /source. Super rapidly all in one command. Now if we look, we got Go code, we can cd over to it, and ls we got the 3 folders that we need for a Go workspace. All at once with one command. Isn't that nice? So next up, we've got the environment variables to set. Woohoo! That was a big headache if everyone remembers beginning of the semester.
Yeah.
So luckily, this is relatively simple. So we'll need to set the path environment variable so we can find Go itself, which we'll need to edit in the global environment file. So sudo nano /etc/profile. So this is how it configures your command line when you first connect to anything from anywhere for any user. So at the end of it, let's put export path equals $path, so whatever path was before, and /user/local/go/bin. Save and exit. Okay. Go's now in the global path. Not yet though, because that's run on login, and we haven't logged out and logged back in yet. So next up, let's set our personal stuff.
So why the bin on? Because that's what would you call it? The SDK, the Go file. User local Go is USR.
Yep, that would be just /root. That would be Go root. Would be normally just put to /go. We need to go into the binary folder, which is where the actual Go exe is for the path, which is where it's looking for runnable code in the command line.
Okay, I forgot about that.
So now we can edit our own profile, .profile.
I thought go root took care of that. Go root doesn't take care of that?
Nope. Nope, our command line doesn't know about go root. Go root's for go itself.
Okay.
And we put it in the default location so we don't have to set go root. So in our own one, which is just .profile in our home folder, we need to put in our go path so it knows where our workspace is. So that's, I forgot to export go path equals, and then it was $home / go code. $home is our home folder, and then go code. This code may or may not be written when you've got fully logged in, so the tilde may or may not work. Best to just use the environment variable $home, which is your home folder. Next up, export path. So we need to edit our path so we can get to our bin folder for when we run go install on stuff. $home / go code / bin. Colon, you need the rest of the path still. Don't forget that, otherwise you'll lose access to basically everything, including sudo.
All right, so quick question for you here. So this one right here, this is kind of global, right?
Yeah, /etc /profiles for every user. It's our global environment variables.
And this one's just for the specific user.
Yep, and then .profile in your home folder is just for that user.
And on Linux, these correspond to, because like on Mac, they're called bashrc or bash_profile, right?
Bashrc is still is on Linux as well. Bashrc is basically executed when you first start up a bash shell, which means you can. Some people like to use that to like change the colors of their shell or something. Whereas .profile for Ubuntu at least means like globally for everything that's on that user account.
Okay.
So we put the main Go executable path in the global environment variables because that's supposed to be accessible to everyone who's logged in on the system. But then our workspace, that's private to us, so we put in our own environment variables and not the global ones. So Control X, yes, save. Okay. So environment variables are not updated until we log in, but we're not done configuring yet. So first off, we still have this big targis file here. Let's get rid of it. Remove go 1. So rm is remove. Here's the file name. Okay, we deleted that file. Now then, go get requires git. We don't have git. See, program git is not currently installed. Sudo apt-get install git. Okay, we got git. All right, so now we've got to just disconnect from the server and reconnect. And now if you can say go version, go env. See our go path is here.
Root, yeah.
Go root, which is set to the default location. All works. Yay, we got git. Go's installed in 10 minutes. So I'll try to hurry through this last bit because we only got like 7 minutes left. So first,
what's the next part?
So next,
Maybe is this a good stop part? Pick up
Nope.
on Thursday.
No, let's try to get the Go code running at first.
Go for it.
So first off, we're going to need to allow port 80 through our firewall. So sudo uncomplicated firewall allow either port 80 /TCP or just it actually recognizes the word HTTP. Check to make sure it's all working. Status. So anywhere to port 80 allowed. Okay. Now let's install HA proxy. Sudo apt-get install HA proxy. Okay, and now sudo, we need to configure HA proxy. So sudo nano etc. etc seems to be where all the config files on Linux are. So just about everything's going to be in that folder. HA proxy, haproxy.config. So big file for configuring HA proxy. So over here in the defaults, we'll need to add in retries 3. So it'll attempt to reconnect our server 3 times if it fails. And we'll put an option redispatch. So what HA proxy is supposed to be a load balancer. What redispatch basically says is if one server's down, go to a different server. Don't try to keep connecting to the same server. It doesn't really matter with just one machine, but it's a good idea to have anyway. And at the bottom of the file, you got this big block here that I've got that you'll want to put in. I'll explain it real fast. So listen is for listening. We're going to give it any name you want. I'm just calling it serve for server. And then where you want to listen on. So 0.0.0.0 basically means from any IP address, :80, so port 80. We're in HTTP mode. So option HTTP server close and timeout HTTP keep alive 3000 basically means it'll keep the HTTP connection alive for 3 seconds, which is good because if you got like a bunch of images on your website, you want to be able to just immediately just grab those images instead of having to reconnect every time. So it gives you much faster speeds if you got your keep alives working. And then you give it the IP of your server. So you say server for it being a server. You can give this particular server a name if you want. Serve 1, serve 2, serve 3, whatever. You give the IP and port. So 127.0.0.1:9000. So 127.0.0.1 is the local host, this machine. And then check means HA proxy will periodically check to make sure the server's still up. If it's not up, it can send back a 503 error back to whoever's trying to go to your website, which is no server or no resources available error, I think.
The 9000 is a router.
So 9000's port. So we're going to run our server on port 9000, and this HA proxy will basically forward everything. Yeah. And then HA proxy will forward everything from port 80 to port 9000 with this. You can set up you can tell it like what kind of load balancing algorithm you want and put multiple servers in here. So if you got just one machine, you can set up in front and have it balance between multiple servers, which is good. We're running an 8-core machine. I don't think we're going to run into any issues here. Yes, save. I've got this link here, which has got more information for configuring. So if you want to run that load balance setup, do that. In any case, sudo service HA proxy reload. That'll let reload. Now we need to get our code onto the server. Do you have the code somewhere, Todd?
Yeah, in that WebStorm file.
Actually.
So it's in.
Actually, I can just say grab that. Go
Perfect.
back to our code. Okay, main folder, git clone paste. Okay, got the code. All right, so we got the code. CD. So normally you copy with WinSCP or with SCP, which I will probably go over in more detail on Thursday, real fast at the beginning. But we're out of time now, and I want to just get something running. So I just cloned my repo, which is a valid way of getting your code onto the website, onto the server. So I got this hello world code. So I'll just say go run testserver.go. Command line's running it. So let's grab our IP again. Paste it into our web browser. Hello world.
Yeah, brilliant. That's so awesome.
So when we start up next time, I will tell you how to get this running in the background. Because currently, if we close this terminal, it'll also close the connection, which will close any program started by that connection, which includes the server. So first thing next time, I will tell how to set up that so it runs the background on boot, so that we don't have to keep this machine open and keeping the server running. So yeah, that'll be next time.
Any questions? I have one question still. I want to totally understand that, why the user local Go bin, because I understand like creating a path variable to my bin in my Go workspace, right?
Yep.
Because that's where my executables get put, and so I just want to be able to run my executables by name right from the command line without putting the full path. But why put the path variable to bin inside of, and what do you call it? That's my second question. So is it the Go SDK? Like
This is the main Go compiler.
So it'd be the compiler.
Yeah. So if you look here in this Go folder here,
Yeah.
it's got a bunch of stuff, including authors, contributing, license, patents, and then some folders. So in the bin folder, you've got the actual Go and Go doc in Go format. So this right here is the actual Go command. If I run it, Go, this is the command that it's executing.
Yeah.
So if I'm off somewhere else and I say Go, it's finding that. If I look at it, where is Go? No, it doesn't work on this machine. Where's that SSH back into? Where is Go? It tells me that's where the command line is finding Go, the program to execute it. That program looks at Go root to find out where the rest of its stuff is. Command line only cares about the path variable, though. It doesn't know about Go root. It doesn't know about Go itself. It just searches every item in the path until it finds the executable.
Okay. But doesn't Go, the Go command, work even if you don't set that path variable to the bin?
If you don't set the path variable, then your command line can't find it, so the Go command won't work.
Oh, really? I thought it worked on mine. I must have set
it
that.
would find it because it gives you two addresses there that it found it. So that first one's probably what Todd's talking about. And the second one's the one that you said.
User local go is where we put it. That's where we set. User local go bin go. Okay, so the one is user local is in the path. So it found the go folder there and was like, this is not executable. So it moved on to the next one, which is user local go bin, where it found the go an executable go thing where it could run. That's why it's got those two things there.
So is it different for Linux or on Mac than it is on Windows? If it's in
Maybe.
a path, it doesn't matter where.
It boils down to the same concept.
You have to set
but you're a bit more explicit.
Yeah, paths on Windows are a bit more of a pain, or better. They got GUIs to edit with, but you still have to set it in order for your command line to work.
Right, I mean, I just put it in my path.
Yeah.
Good to go. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I guess. That's
Show what's in the bin folder there again. So you set your path to bin so that you can see user local go bin.
bin.
And it's go doc, and go font.
Yep.
Okay.
Which are all green because they're executable.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Cool.
I'm gonna use it.
So,
Thank you very much, Daniel. We'll see you all Thursday for more hard hitting fun.
So, right before you leave, it costs you money. Shut down the server by destroy. Save a snapshot. Shut down the server with destroy, so you
save
don't
your
so it doesn't
snapshot, yeah.
charge you while you're not using it.
Yeah. Save that.
I mean, your
snapshot.
server is going to be running all the time, but I don't want to charge Todd the 27 cents an hour for the next 2 days. So,
Me either. Save that snapshot.
all right, that's it.
Okay, good. And I want to be able to go find out what I missed. So